No, no. Again, the same minute, the same sound. I tried running out, I tried screaming, It doesn't matter. The cup is about to fall again. 3, 2, 1. Again!
The time loop. We've seen it 100 times. In Groundhog Day and Edge of Tomorrow, the hero relives the same day over and over until they fix their mistakes or save the world. A classic. But that is too simple, too predictable. Our laboratory asks a different, far more brutal question. What if you were the only one trapped in the time loop and the rest of the universe just kept going? Act 1, the 1-minute God. So it happens, 12 o'clock, 34 minutes p.m. This single minute is now your entire life, over and over and over again. The first few hundred cycles are pure bliss. You are a god, the god of a single minute. You know everything. You know that guy over there is about to drop his wallet. You catch it without looking and hand it back to the stunned owner. You're a hero. You know the girl at the next table is about to drop her cup. You snatch it a split second before it hits the floor. You're a knight. You know the exact words to say to make everyone around you laugh. You're the life of the party, a 60-second party. You use this minute to become a genius. You live it 1,000 times to memorize a single paragraph from quantum physics textbook. 10,000 times to perfectly play one guitar solo. 1,000,000 times to learn how to juggle 3 pats. Please don't do this in real life. You have become the master of your tiny universe. You are invincible. And then, at the peak of your power, you decide to do something simple. To talk to someone after your minute has reset. Your minute ends. Whoosh. Reset. You're back at the beginning. You walk up to the guy whose wallet you just returned and say, "That was a cool trick I just did, huh?" And he looks at you and doesn't recognize you. His eyes are blank. He walks right past you because in his reality, he's never seen you before. And that's when it hits you. You aren't just repeating this same minute. With every reset, you are falling 59 seconds behind the real world. You are not a god, you are a ghost trapped in the past, and the train of reality has just left the station without you.
Act 2, the ghost of yesterday. The first hour, it's almost funny. You're only 59 minutes behind the world. You see people rushing to meetings that you already know about. But then, a day passes. You have lived your minute 1,440 times. But the world has lived 1,440 different minutes. You are now almost a full day behind reality. The people you saw this morning are long home, asleep. The city has changed, and you are still stuck in your noon at the 34th minute. You try to interact, you scream, but your voice echoes in the past where no one can hear it. You try to touch someone, but your hand passes right through them like a phantom. Because in there now, you are no longer in that point in space. And then you ask yourself the main scientific question. What about my body? This is where physics comes in. You are a closed temporal system. Your minute is a perfect reset, which means you don't age. You don't get hungry, you don't need to sleep. Your body is perfectly preserved in the state it was in when the loop began. But this isn't a gift. It's a curse. Because you have become an eternal, unchanging observer of an ever-changing world. Years go by. You are decades behind reality. You watch fashion change. You see new technologies appear and disappear. You watch your friends and family grow old. You see their weddings, the birth of their children, their gray hair. But they don't see you. You are the most knowledgeable and most helpless historian of a future you can never reach. You have lived your minute billions of times. You have learned every language. You have thought through every philosophical concept. You have become the smartest and the loneliest being in the universe. And you begin to lose your mind, not from boredom, from sensory deprivation. Your minute is always the same. The same light, the same sound, the same smells. Your brain, starved for new information, begins to consume itself. You start to have hallucinations within your loop. You try to distinguish the real 60 seconds from the ones your tortured mind is creating. But over time, the line blurs. You are no longer a ghost observing the world. You are a prisoner in a 1-minute torture chamber where the walls are made of your own slowly dying consciousness. And you realize there is only one way out of this prison, but it is far more terrifying than you could have ever imagined.
Act 3. The Entropy Collapse. How do you escape a prison that has no walls? How do you break out of a moment that has already passed? Your mind, pushed to its absolute limit, starts to look for a way out. Not in space, but in the very code of your time loop. And you begin to notice imperfections. At first, it's barely perceptible. At the 47-second mark, the sound of the shattering cup is a fraction of a tone lower than the last time. At the 12-second mark, the shadow of a passing bird falls at a slightly different angle. This is temporal noise, static, a glitch in the perfect reset. And this gives you hope, a monstrous, desperate hope. You realize your loop is not perfect, and anything that isn't perfect can be broken. And here we return to our favorite universal bully, the second law of thermodynamics. The universe hates order. It strives for chaos. It's like a teenager who never cleans their room, and your time loop is the one perfectly clean, sterile corner of that room that it desperately wants to mess up. The universe wants to destroy your loop, and you decide to help it. You no longer try to change events. You do something else. You focus the entire power of your mind, honed over billions of cycles, on these glitches. You observe them. You study them. You think about them. You become a conscious observer of the defect in the code of reality. And your consciousness, like a scalpel, begins to widen these cracks. And the loop begins to fall apart. This doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like agony. Your minute is no longer stable. The time within it begins to warp. 5 seconds can stretch into an eternity, while the next 20 flash by in an instant. Sounds become distorted beyond recognition. The street noise turns into a demonic roar. The laughter of people turns into death rattles. The laws of physics begin to fail. You toss a pen and it freezes in midair, vibrating. Gravity within your minute becomes stronger, then weaker. You feel your body being crushed, then stretched. Your cozy, predictable prison has turned into a chaotic, surreal, Salvador Dali-esque hellscape. You've escaped the torture chamber only to find yourself in a working blender of reality. And then, during one of the cycles, the final crash happens.
Temporal error. File minute 1234. Corrupted. Initiating. Deletion. Protocol. You don't break free into the future. You don't die. Something worse happens. Your minute, your single moment of existence, is recognized as an error in the code of the universe. And the system deletes the corrupted file. You feel yourself being taken apart. Not physically, metaphysically. Your memories, your consciousness, the very fact of your existence in that minute is being erased from the fabric of time.
You don't just die, you are unhappened. You disappear from the past. At 12 o'clock, 34 minutes p.m., in a certain cafe, a girl awkwardly drops her cup. A guy at the next table instinctively catches it. "Thank you," she says. "You're welcome," he replies. The world moves on, and no one will ever know that in this very place, at this very minute, the loneliest being in the universe lived for an eternity and was erased from existence. A time loop isn't a prison of repetition. It's a prison of stasis, the absence of forward movement. And sometimes, the most terrifying end is not death. It's the realization that you never truly lived at all.